Let's draw the graph now. So this is the equation that's given to you, y equals to 2 cosine x minus pi over 8. The equation might look slightly scary, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to teach you, well, my method of sketching the graph, which I feel is a lot faster and a lot easier. So take note that whatever you hear in this video might be different from what the lecturer teaches you, but still might be a good reference for you, particularly if you feel that you want to save time. Okay, let's start with this. The first things I always do is always to find what's my value of A, what's my value of B, and what's my value of C. In this question, there's no value of K, we'll just leave it, okay? So let's fill it in. A is 2, I know that A is 2. What's the value of B? The number in front of X here is 1. What's the value of C? Minus pi over 8. Okay? Always get A, B, and C written out first. Next, what is the amplitude of this graph? The amplitude is modulus of A, which is 2. Okay, amplitude done. Next, what is the period? The period is 2 pi over B. B is 1, isn't it? So period is 2 pi. After finding the period, find the interval. Okay, find the interval. The interval is the period divided by 4. Okay, period divided by 4, which is 2 pi divided by 4, which is equals to pi over 2. Next, find the phase shift, PS, okay, phase shift, short form, yeah? So phase shift is minus C over B, which is minus, what's my C? My C is minus pi over 8. What's my value of B? My value of B is 1. So if I evaluate this, I would get pi over 8. So that's my phase shift. So these are the things that are important here, okay? I have my value, amplitude is 2, my period is 2 pi, my interval is pi over 2, my phase shift is pi over 8. These are the important things. Now, let's go into the sketching itself. We first do, okay? First, we will draw the axis. Well, usually the lecturers would draw this, okay? They will draw the x-axis, and then they'll draw the y-axis, and then they start sketching from here. They'll start plotting from here, for example, and then they start joining the graph together, right? Well, that's not how I do it. I find that way is quite slow, okay? So my method of doing is this. I'm only going to draw one axis, the x-axis, okay? Then from here, what I do is I sketch the original graph. Now I know that my equation is this, 2 cosine x minus pi over 8. I know that my graph is a cosine graph. It doesn't matter what the amplitude and everything is, it's still going to look like a cosine graph. So I know that my graph would look like this. For sure it will look like this. Okay, definitely will look like this. I just don't know where it's going to start and where it's going to end. Okay, so here's trick number 1. Trick number 1, your phase shift is your starting point. So this is pi over 8. Okay, that's trick number 1. If this is pi over 8, then where is 0? Is 0 on this side or is 0 on this side? The 0 will be on the left, isn't it? Because this is a positive number. So with this, I can estimate that my vertical axis would be somewhere here. Okay? Now here's what's important. You need to extend this one to touch the axis. Okay? You need to touch this axis. You have to. And then extend this dotted line over to here, and then this one will mean that this point here is my ending point. Okay, my graph stopped here. Yep. Okay, so this is my starting point. Next, what do? I'm going to make use of my interval. Okay, my interval is pi over 2. So I know that my interval goes from the highest point to 0 to the lowest point to 0 to 0, okay, and then to my highest point again. So each one of these is an interval, okay, interval, which means that, how do I find this point here? I need to take pi over 8 plus my interval, which is pi over 2, okay, and if you take out a calculator and then you press the value, here's what you will get. The value here is 5 pi over 8. Next one here is 9 pi over 8. Next one is 13 pi over 8. And the one outside here would be 17 pi over 8. Okay? But let's say this particular question only requires one cycle. Okay, so actually I don't need this answer at all. I only need one cycle. So you can see that from here, I have generated all these numbers already. So it's very, very convenient. Okay, I got most of my numbers out simply by adding interval, adding interval, adding interval. Okay. Now there is one thing I need to do here at this particular point. You see, the graph started here and the graph ends here at this point here. So from here to here, what is this? This is actually the period. What's my period? My period is 2 pi. So I'm going to put in the value here. This value here is 2 pi. Okay, this value here, 2 pi. Does that make sense? Let's check how that can make sense, okay? You see this number here, 13 pi over 8, right? 13 pi over 8 is almost 16 over 8. 16 over 8 will be 2. This is 13 over 8, so it's less than that. This 2 pi here will be 16 over 8, so yes, it does make sense. It does seem as if our numbers are correct. Okay? So, did you notice that we already got the graph drawn? It's quite straightforward, yeah? Please don't forget to fill in your labels, x and y. Okay, we are almost there, aren't we? What else do we have left to do? Okay, what we have left to do is to fill in our maximum points and minimum points. So you have to be able to put in the coordinates, okay? So the coordinates of these are, this one here is, what's our amplitude by the way? The amplitude is 2. So the highest point here is 2. What's the lowest point? It's minus 2. So what's this point here then? The x value is pi over 8. We can see from the graph here it's pi over 8. The y value is 2. What's the x value of this one? We can see from here. It's 9 pi over 8. And then the y value is the lowest point here, which is minus 2. See, coordinate, done. That's it. What else? One final thing to do. Okay, this graph here cuts the y-axis. Sorry, it cuts the y-axis at this point. We have to find all the points where it cuts the y-axis. So what's the value of this point? How to find this? This one you got to do a little bit of calculation. You have to let your x be 0. Okay, let x equals to 0. What's my value of y? My y will be 2 cosine of, this is 0 already, so minus pi over 8. Take out your calculator, press the answer, you would get 1.84. Okay, so this value here is 1.84. Okay, that's it. We're done. We're done. Easy, right? The graph starts from here, ends here. Okay, that's where it ends. This section here, of course, is extra. You don't have to leave it there at all. It's just extra. If you want to feel safe, you might want to erase it. Okay, just get rid of it if you don't want it. And then make sure you label all the points at the intervals. They are it's very convenient because all the highest points and the crossing points of the interval, the axis are already there. Find where it crosses the y-axis. Write your labels here, and then that's about it.